Hello, everybody. It is me, Civic, on a Thursday afternoon, evening. Wow. Get home, turn on my internet, and I see posted on one of my Facebook fans on his page, and I couldn't believe it. I started to read it and said, oh, this necessitates a video. We're going to blast somebody right now because it needs to be done. This is in the Gospel Herald Entertainment. I don't know if it's a paper, blog, online deal. The article was posted June 10th to 2015, 12:10 p.m. It looks like Eastern Time. Shows a picture of Miley Cyrus, a very unflattering, very nasty-looking picture of a very venomous poster child feminazi, full of hate and rage, unshaved armpits. I don't know what kind of tattoo markings on her. It looks like somebody graffitied her arm, and it doesn't even look like tattoos. It looks like somebody wrote all over her arm. It looks horrible. But this is what it says. Miley Cyrus mocks Christians who believe in Old Testament fairy tales, says those who oppose homosexuality shouldn't get to make laws. Okay, let me say something before I read this article. Number one, Miley Cyrus, and I'm sure you won't listen to this because you think you're all that in a bag of chips. You really need to shave your underarms if you're going to wear that disgusting, chopped up, vesty, dressy, I don't know what it is, nasty clothing, nasty look. The hair coming out of your underarms is really unattractive. And I'm going to tell you something. Since when does pop star culture get to be great pontificators on legislation and issues of eternity and spiritual matters? You don't. You're entertainment gurus. You're lovers of your own selves. Your salaries are exorbitant. You make too much money for not even a hard day's work. And it is sad. It is absolutely sad. Because I just see this picture of you, and you're a fine one to talk about what shouldn't be allowed. Pop singer Miley Cyrus recently slammed Christian conservatives for believing in fairy tales like the story of Noah's Ark and argued that those who hold to a traditional definition of marriage should not be permitted to make laws within the United States. Boy, Miley, I guess you don't know our founding fathers who gave you the Constitution that gave you freedom of speech to say this kind of hate speech. I guess you believe in political correctness except for Christians, right? Sounds like you're pretty racist. Sounds like you're pretty discriminatory, but let's go on. In a recent interview with Paper magazine, Cyrus, who appears nude within the publication, refers to herself as the least judgmental person ever. Really? Saying we believe in fairy tales and shouldn't be allowed to make laws. You're a joke. You judged us. You're full of it. However, the magazine notes, while she was raised in a Christian home and was baptized in a Southern Baptist church, the Wrecking Ball singer maintains a particular contempt for fundamentalist lawmakers who rally against this sort of progressive, potentially life-saving changes for the LGBT community. Ah, here we go. The lesbian, gay, bi, tranny community. These people shouldn't get to make our laws, Cyrus said of Christians who hold to a traditional view of marriage. The 22-year-old party in the USA singer went on to slam Christians who believed Noah's Ark was a real vessel. That's effing insane, she told the magazine. We've outgrown that fairy tale, like we've outgrown effing Santa and the Tooth Fairy. The former Disney Channel star also criticized her parents' political views, calling them conservative ass mother effers. That's nice. That's real nice, Miley. You're an idiot. Cyrus revealed that she views her gender identity as fluid and told her mother that she was attracted to women when she was 14 years old. I remember telling her I admire women in a different way, and she asked me what that meant, and I said, I love them. I love them like I love boys, she recalled, and it was so hard for her to understand. She didn't want me to be judged, and she didn't want me to go to hell, but she believes in me more than she believes in any God. I just asked her to accept me. She added, I am literally open to every single thing that is consenting and doesn't involve an animal, and everyone is of age. Everything that's legal, I'm down with. Yo, I'm down with any adult, anyone over the age of 18 who is down to love me, she said. I don't relate to being boy or girl, and I don't have to have my partner relate to boy or girl. Well, yeah, the unshaved armpits and the nasty thing you wear and the look, you looking more like a man and less than a lady. Wow. Less than a decade ago, Cyrus was considered a role model for young girls. As a teen, the Hannah Montana star refused to dress immodestly, telling People magazine, I like to look kind of like what girls would want to look up to, and their moms and dads say, hey, that's cool, that's different. She also wore a purity ring, signaling her commitment to practice abstinence until marriage. In 2007, Cyrus referred to her church, the greatest source of strength, and recited Ephesians 6:10-11 as her favorite passage in the Bible, which says, finally, my brother, come close to the Lord, for if you put on the full armor of God, you can stand against the walls of a devil. Boy, what translation is that? That sounds like something way off. Sadly, like Katy Perry, who famously traded her career as a gospel singer for that of a secular pop star, Cyrus has since rejected her faith in exchange for fame. In 2011, the singer's father, country star Billy Ray Cyrus, said in an interview with GQ magazine that he regretted having her in the Hannah Montana show and confessed that his family was cautious of the temptations within the entertainment industry before going to Los Angeles. Somewhere along this journey, both mine and Miley's faith has been shaken. That saddens me the most, he said, adding there is no doubt that his family is being ruined by Satan. Yeah, I agree with you, Dad. I'm sorry, and I'm gonna say something. And Miley Cyrus and her supporters are gonna say, "Wow, you're not very Christ-like. You don't believe in Christ. You don't believe in the Bible. So don't even tell me what a Christian should look like because you don't believe in it. Don't put that trip on me because you're hypocritical. First of all, I'm gonna speak the truth, and the truth hurts. You need to shave your pits, girl. You look disgusting. You need to wear proper clothing. Wow." But let's attack your viewpoint, because that's what needs to be attacked. If we let you have your way, you would have Christians thrown to the lions, just like Katie Couric and all the other nasty feminists out there. I'm sorry, man, but it takes all kinds of people to make a world. And I'm sorry, Miley, but not everybody's just like you. And though I don't agree with all extreme fundamentalistic, legalistic people, and I too have my struggles with temptation and sin, that doesn't make it right to start condemning Christians for holding to a traditional view of marriage. God is the one who instituted that. Go yell and scream at him. Don't yell at his people. Good grief. Since when does a pop star cultural icon have the right to pontificate on matters on theology? I think not. And I'm amazed that our culture has traded heroes for role models, traded God as a role model, and bowing at the feet and paying all of their hard-earned money, tithing Hollywood, tithing the pop star culture that is in your face. Rena didn't watch my video. She wrote more nasty, hateful, ghetto girl comments on the Haiti video, and I thought, wow. Do you notice something, my viewers that are Christians? Do you notice the world is really becoming hostile? I mean, I go out there and try to be nice every day, and excuse me, now I got the hiccups, good grief. I go out there and be nice every day, and people are nasty, hateful. One of these days, Cyrus is going to come down off her little pedestal and wake up hard. I'm not even going to touch the gay issue, because I'm going to just say this much on it. God said that it is wrong for a woman to lie with a woman and a man to lie with a man in sexual relations. I admit, I've seen pictures, I've looked at pictures of lesbians. They're provocative. It's scintillating, titillating, but it's still a sin. To open the door and allow people to do whatever they want, and you say between consenting adults, Cyrus, I don't know if you know, but there's people that want to drop the age restrictions too. You're just another cog in the wheel of people that come along and want to change the rules. And then 20 years from now, somebody will want to change it and move it on back. Here they legalize pot in Colorado, and that is causing lots of job growth, lots of people moving here, but it's also causing lots of problems. More kids are doing it because their parents are doing it. They're getting on the school buses, smoking pot in the back of the bus. We've had police get on our buses and arrest teens for that. You open the door and allow things that God himself said you are opening up a Pandora's box. I think it is perfectly okay, women, for you to admit that you're attracted to another woman. But to sit there and tell me that it should be legalized, that gay marriage should be sanctioned, I'm not going to agree with you. I understand the sinful nature. My gosh, I have it myself. Why don't you just come to terms with that and say, I like it. I kissed a girl and I liked it. But don't say that it's okay to be that way and that that's the way it should be. Good grief. I'm tired of pop star culture saying things that are so hateful, so rude, denying me of my constitutional right to live in this country, to vote my conscience, that if I wanted to run for politician and got voted in, I have the right to make laws that reflect the laws of God. And for you to say that we should not have a right to make laws, you shouldn't either, baby. Give me a break. You're 22 years old. Get over yourself and go buy a razor and shave your underarms. They look disgusting. You're up there like this, with your ugly feminist look. Give me a break. What really bothers me about America is I'm afraid it's being run by pop star culture more than anybody else. Media culture. I love it when Hollywood actresses engaging in illicit sex, drug activity, bad behavior, speeding in their cars, driving drunk, Justin Bieber and all the other flakes and, whack jobs in Hollywood that make way too much money, living way too much for themselves, and then they come out and they're going to issue a moral statement. You've got to be kidding me. I mean, I've gone to a couple movies in the last couple weeks, but I can't believe all the stuff that's inserted in them. That we've been so conditioned. Oh, he's such a good actor. Yeah, as he's with the girl on there that's married to somebody else in real life. Okay. Miley Cyrus, you're not a theologian. Miley Cyrus, you're not God. Miley Cyrus, you're not a politician. Miley Cyrus, you're not in a leadership role. You're a pop star. And you will be judged by God. I want to know what it is about these liberal loonies in the media culture that start getting so full of hate and anger and rage toward conservatives. And I know what it is. Jesus said, marvel not that the world hates you. Hated me first. Miley, you're just hating on Jesus, man. Not a good place for you to be. It's disgusting. Even your own father came to his senses and said, wow. What are you going to do, Miley, if you get in a car wreck tomorrow and you're paralyzed and you're no more popular and everybody will boo-hoo about it for a while and you can't sing and you can't do anything? Then what? You going to be feeling brave to take on God again? I tell you what, I did a video this morning attacking a so-called intellectual atheist because she has been nasty on a comment forum on a video. And I'm noticing today people are really becoming hostile towards Jesus Christ, really hostile towards born-again Christians. Now, Pacific talks about the discrepancies I've seen in churches. I've talked about Christian women in America and how rude, materialistic, self-righteous they are. I talk about that. But to hate the people of God, to call his book fairy tales, Miley, I got news for you. You don't know a darn thing about anything. Saying that Noah's Ark is a fairy tale? You weren't there, honey. You weren't on the dang thing. You don't know what you're talking about. The verses that fit you, lady, are this, and you're not a lady, woman. The God of this world has blinded their eyes. The wisdom of God is foolishness to those that are perishing. If you don't know Jesus, you're perishing, girl. And you know what? You can turn around and go, boy, you're sure not very loving. You're promoting hate. I'm not promoting hate at all. But I'm feeling the hate from you. You want to shut us down. You want to censor us. If you think that this white boy is going to sit down and be quiet about it, boy, you got another thing coming. You got to be kidding me. That Constitution guarantees me the right to freedom of speech and expression. You obviously got expression to have hair growing out of your underarms and wear disgusting, tacky clothing and make vitriolic anti-Christian statements. Wow. Celebrate diversity? Multiculturalism? See, it always comes back to this in America. You can't say true statements about the garbage that goes on in the black community. You can't say true statements about the garbage that goes on in the Hispanic community. You can't say anything true about today's monstrous behaving women. But you can sure rip on Christians and rip on Jews. And I love how the dichotomy of this country, how these people think that that's called political correctness. You got to be kidding. Miley, I got bad news for you. You're sticking your snout where it don't belong. And you're going to run right up against the hand of God one day because you know what? God gave us the right. God's the one that set the laws. So if you got a problem with his laws, you go take him on and tell him he's not allowed to legislate. See how far that gets you. He's already legislated it from eternity. Thou shalt not. Fairy tales. The very thing that saved me, Jesus Christ saved me, but the thing that opened up my eyes was when a minister told me the truth about all the propaganda behind evolution, all the lies. I believe in Noah's Ark. I don't believe it's fairy tale at all. But Miley Cyrus doesn't have the intellectual background or the spiritual background to even begin to unpack that and make a unbiased statement. She's incapable of it. She's a pop star, 22-year-old girl who has rebelled God and is all about herself. I will tell you, this lesbian thing, this LGBT thing is running down our tracks faster than a speeding freight train with no brakes plunging over a cliff. It is in our face. It is exploding on the internet. It's exploding everywhere. I was looking on Craigslist today. All these beautiful women wanting to screw around with another woman. They don't want a guy. Big words, no men. That is feminism's goalpost. And though we guys have admitted very much that it's hot to see two women making out and doing all that sensual stuff, as a Christian man, we're headed for trouble. We're headed for trouble when we turn around and say that we're not going to do things God's way. We're headed for trouble when we try to say, well, God, we don't like your laws. They're fairy tales. Your book's fairy tales. I got news for you, Miley. It's only a matter of time before somebody 20, 30 years down the road looks at you and says, well, I don't care about your views, lady. I don't think you should have the right to speak. Therefore, I'm going to kill you. Whose laws do we go by? Yours? The next generation that will change them even more and become more godless? When you play a volleyball game, you have standards on either side and a net, and it's regulation height. If you lower the net 3 feet, that's not legal volleyball. If you move the standards in 3 feet towards the center, that's not legal volleyball. If you don't have an outlined box area where you got to stay in, You're not playing the game the right way. Do you really think that life is just you can do whatever you want and don't tell me what to do? Shoot. We got laws that tell you got to pay your taxes, laws that say you got to go speed limit, laws that say you got to get insurance for your car. Don't you think that God has laws about the way things are? I mean, I'm sorry, Miley, if you can't figure it out that a penis was made for a vagina, that a vagina was not made for a vagina and a penis was not made for penis, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, it may be fun and scintillating to screw around with another girl, but the sheer design of the whole thing was this goes into this, shoots out this white stuff, and causes her to get pregnant. That's the way God made it. And if you've got a problem with that, you need to go to him and stop condemning us Christians. You say you're the least judgmental. What a hypocrite. You're judging us. You're saying we shouldn't have a right to pass laws. I hate to tell you this, honey, but this country was founded and it was started by people who did have faith in God. Many of the founding fathers had faith in God, and they were moved to pen our Constitution, Declaration of Independence, based on scriptural principles. And now you want to come along and censor us. I'd love to see George Washington and all those people, our founding fathers, rise up and you go and tell them that and see how far you get. I guarantee you that in their day and age, a 22-year-old pop star, which there was no such thing, wouldn't get anywhere. We have flip-flopped in America to allow you the right to stand up on stage and get all your fans going, yeah! Thanks for contributing more wreckage to society, Miley. And thanks that you're making big, fat sums of money while you want to shut us down and tell us we need to be censored while you're living the good life, while so many people live in dire poverty that work harder than you do, and you're self-centered, narcissistic woman who's angry at God and is going to go vocal with it to the whole public. Congratulations, you're such a star. Kind of like Lucifer, fallen star. You'll burn out one day and you'll disappear and everybody will boo-hoo at your funeral and then you'll be forgotten. No, that ark isn't a fairy tale. Every time I go up to Dinosaur Ridge, which is 20 minutes from the house here, I'm reminded of the Noah flood that killed everything that has nostrils on the face of the earth. It is all over the place. There was a global flood. There's dinosaur fossils everywhere. Plant life everywhere in fossilized. There was a boat and 8 people were saved on it and 2 of every animal. That's a fact. It's interesting when they talk about the cradle of civilization. Why is it all over there? Kind of near Turkey, Asia Minor, Israel. How come that's called the cradle? Because even the historians know that that's kind of where everything started. Yeah, that's where the ark landed. Noah, Shem, Ham, Japheth, his 3 sons came out. His wife, out they come. Their wives. And guess what? They're the father of nations. Asians, Europeans, Africans. And all those races doing their thing, filtered down and out and all over the world. I don't think, and the sad thing is a bunch of pop star young people that don't know anything about God will just lap up everything a pop star cultural icon says. They'll laugh at cops, they'll laugh at preachers, they'll laugh at parents, laugh at authority, refer to us as effing ASS conservatives. Where does it stop, Miley? You want to allow this? Why don't we make it a law that I can go rob your house because you have way more money than I do and it's not fair? Why not? Whose morality gets to rule the show? Yours? Mine? Somebody else's? Back to the volleyball game in case you missed the point. If you're going to move the net around and change the height of the net and the width of the net and where the standards sit, well, you're tampering with the game. So you go to the regulation standards, and you have referees. Same with rules and laws, girl. God sets the rules. We go back to him. He's the one that set the standard. You can't just pick and choose which ones you want to follow and which ones you want to toss out. No, you're running around in your panties, girl. Your hatred is towards God, and you're just directing it at his people. It's funny, the Bible you call as a fairy tale talks about that. Talks about the Antichrist when he comes in the last days is going to show wrath towards the Israelites and the saints. Why? Because he hates God. You're following right along in his footsteps. You go, girl. You stand up there and show your hairy underarms and think you're full of authority, and you'll die one day, and God will say, "Depart from me, I never knew you." Pop star culture. I don't think we're going to listen to what you have to say. But over my dead body, am I going to stand back and let you tell us Christians that we don't have a right to legislate? I'll stand up and I'll get a bunch of people behind me and we'll say, no. We know what the Bible says. Times are going to get worse. Christians are going to be slaughtered during the tribulation. Not just persecuted, slaughtered. There's a bloodbath coming because this world right now, we're so stupid sometimes, us Christians, that we get so caught up in materialism, so caught up in entertainment, so caught up in all this world's junk, which really at its core is all anti-God to the core. And we fail to realize there's a war that's coming. That right now Satan's aligning his troops for that great day to take on God. And while we Christians are running around going, I want to be accepted, how come nobody's nice to me? Because they're not going to be nice to you. They hate God, they hate his people. Pop star culture is not on the side of truth, not on the side of Jesus Christ, it is on the side of the devil anymore. And then you get the silly Christians come along, and now we're going to make Christian rock and be just like them. Be not conformed to the patterns of this world, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. The Christians are always conforming to the patterns of this world. We all got to see the same movies. We all got to get in debt for the cars and get caught up in everything the world does instead of stepping back and saying, no, we're not going to follow you into this. I'm reading a book right now. Let me get it. It's very interesting. I don't agree with everything that these guys do. It was about the Amish. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of good things in here about how they've tried to keep themselves from getting, corrupted and following the ways of the world. It's pretty amazing in this high-tech society when you can go into places in America and see people living like this. Still. That just blows me away. They're planting, and farming, and living like the old days. And I know that there's problems with the Amish. This book is about actually the Amish, Hutterites, and Mennonites. And I gotta find a place to drop my bookmark out of. Even Pacific has to admit, I have slipped and compromised so much in the last 7 years. Must be nice, Cyrus, so you can make big fat fistfuls of money and you don't even have talent. Just because a bunch of fans get behind you and throw money at it doesn't mean you got something. Man, the older I get, I'm starting to realize that this world is truly upside down and backwards. If all the world is cheering you on, there's probably a pretty good chance of going straight to hell. If the world's hating your guts, pretty good chance you're in Jesus Christ. That's what my Bible says. Fairy tales. I don't see no Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy, or Easter Bunny in my Bible. The details about the flood, the specific instructions how to make the ark. There's no fairy tale. But yet, Americans teach their kids every year that Christmas is all about Jesus, or that Rudolph really flew pulling a sleigh, and people buy that crap up. People believe in ghosts, people believe in UFOs and Martians, even though there's not one shred of proof about Martians or ghosts. I'm sure somebody listening to this video will take me to task on that. Save it. I'm going to waste my time. There's only one ghost I know of, and it's the Holy Ghost. Tell you what, there's a lot wrong with this culture. Why is it the loudest voices, the ones with the stinkiest diapers, come out of America on national media? We need to censor these Christians. Sheesh. Everybody's all saying China's a bunch of communists. Muslims oppress women. America's oppressing me. I have more freedom in Hong Kong to speak and stand for what I believe than I do in America. You got to be kidding me. I still wish that God would do something huge in my life and let me go somewhere and live in a village and actually proclaim the gospel to a bunch of people that want it, than live in a pop star saturated culture that's lapping up the garbage that people like Miley Cyrus spew out of their mouth. Wow. Remember what I told you, viewers? The more comfortable people get, the more ridiculous they become, the more petty they become. As if a 22-year-old feminazi woman who doesn't shave her armpits or have good personal hygiene is somebody we need to listen to. I don't think so. You see, everybody in America thinks they're God and goddesses. Everybody thinks their view is important. And it's really funny that everybody thinks they're such an authority on God, even though most people haven't even read the whole Bible. And here we've got testimony that Miley quoted Ephesians and this and that back then and believed in modesty. And wow, she could have had a V8. You know what I've noticed? Women who become so infected with liberalism and feminism really become so ugly and ghastly looking. Take Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, Madeleine Albright, Miley Cyrus. Look at all these people and how ugly looking they are. Don't shave, bad hygiene, talking tough, loud, acting, looking like men. Ugh, yucky. And yet they can spew all their hate and they listen to something like this and go, oh my gosh, see, these Christians are so judgmental. You're the one that fired the first volley our way, babes. I pray for you, girl. I pray that you wake up because you are dead wrong. You think because you got fame and fortune, a whole audience sucking off your pop star breast, that there's no Noah's Ark? You need to stop telling lies, lady. You just admitted in so many words you got a problem with God and you got a problem with His Word and you aren't doing so well. You don't have peace in your life because now you want to take on us. That's what I notice. Really, what this boils down to is you got a struggle going with God. And you're angry. Now you want to fight us and shut us down. Remember, Cyrus, what Jesus Christ said. Upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Let me say that one more time, Cyrus. Upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Miley Cyrus will not prevail against it. Nobody will. Christians will continue to show up. People will get saved. God's truth will transform them. And yes, the world will get wicked. But in the end, God wins. You don't. And I'm sorry, when I'm in heaven, we're not going to be watching Miley Cyrus's latest video. It won't be talked about. It won't even be shown. There won't be videos. So, strut your parade. Throw your little shingle and your sandwich board out there and tell the world what you think. But one day, you'll be poof, gone. And another one will come, and another one's on, and another one bites the dust. And that's all it is with Hollywood. Egotistical people that suddenly feel heady, and I'm going to make some bold statements and take on the old ancient boundary stones. God's called the Ancient of Days. You're not going to move him, and you're not going to move his standards. Yes, our country will get to the point where they will legislate this and legislate that. They're doing it with pot. They're doing it with the gay marriage. Canada's going to let things go because the world loves sin. They love darkness rather than light. The world doesn't have peace, so they're not going to exercise peace. And because they don't have peace, they're going to come back and persecute those of us that have peace. They're going to persecute those of us who believe in the truth. They're going to persecute those of us that believe in absolutes given by the hand of God. Devil's got you right where he wants you, Miley. And he's loving it every single day. How I wish that I could say just the right words to get through to you. But I have to default to 1 Corinthians. The natural man comprehendeth not the things of God, for they are spiritually discerned. In other words, you're not going to get it. You can't. The God of this world has blinded your eyes. You won't be able to accomplish anything, lady, unless God allows it. The God you don't believe in. The book he wrote that you say is fairy tales. What an insult to our Creator. God doesn't write fairy tales. But you're speaking lies. Just like your father, the devil. Jesus called him a liar, a thief, murderer, comes to kill, destroy, devour. I see all the fruit of Satan all over your life. So while you're on your little vendetta against Christians and want to say that they shouldn't have right to make laws, well, just remember, there's going to be people coming along next that say, I have a right to molest your teenage daughter. What? Yeah, see, that's the problem with you people. And I'm going to say you people. You want to legislate this immorality, but you don't want to do anything involving children. Well, there's other people that think they should have a right to do stuff to children. Whose laws win? That's why we need a standard. That's why we need a referee. God's the one that's the standard. He's the one that set the standards in place. Don't you come along and change it. You're standing on thin ice when you do that. Miley Cyrus, I don't respect you. I don't respect you in any way. I don't care if you're offended by what I say. We're offended by the things you say. That you actually think that in this United States of America that you want to be a socialist, a communist, and censor us. And it's you same people that have been screaming and yelling about the right to freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and yet you want to deny us the same right. How hypocritical is that? I got a term that I learned here in Colorado, Cyrus. You better cowboy up. You want to be a man? Be a man. Pull up your big boy pants and realize there's 6 billion people in the world that don't agree with you, and you're going to have to learn to deal with it. And censoring all of us isn't going to work. Because you sure get mad if I were to say gays should be eradicated from the United States. Americans shouldn't be allowed to vote, hold an office, or anything. Boy, you guys would shut me down if I said that. But I've never made such a statement. That you're saying Christians shouldn't have a right to vote? Or make laws, make laws? You've got to be kidding me. How hypocritical of you. If we let you run the country, this would not be the United States of America. It'd be the People's Republic of Cyrus. Good night. It wouldn't even be a republic. Wow. Pop star culture. I have sat back for 49 years and I liked Michael Jackson, some of his music. But I watched a man committing indiscretion upon indiscretion, calling McCulkin and others little boys in his bed. In his bed. And what did the public do? Oh, you know. But if this boy here were caught in bed with one of the teenagers on my school bus, oh, I'd be arrested. The city of Denver would react, and the surrounding suburbs. But when Michael Jackson did that, it's okay. Unbelievable. Pop star culture's got a free ticket to do whatever they want. Hollywood and media culture and pop star culture is so full of hypocrisy. You do not have a right to pontificate on matters of intelligence because you're living in a complete den of iniquity as it is. Making more money than you deserve for what? Your garbage music? Polluting our culture with more garbage? Bet you Miley doesn't even read stuff like this. She doesn't read anything that has any intelligence. She probably likes 50 Shades of Grey. Gosh. What really scares me is these young people have been destroyed by the media culture, by the school culture in our country, a godless evolutionistic Darwinianist belief system. And they are full of hate and rage and want to shut us down. The only unsafety that's being created is not by me because I believe in God. It's by you who doesn't want to believe in absolutes except the ones you choose. I think girls that don't shave their armpits in the U.S. ought to be all herded up and stuck on an island somewhere and put a gate around it. What if I said that? What do you think? I don't agree with everything everybody does. And I do know this, that God, when he rules from Jerusalem, and he will one day, this debate is not even going to happen. God's going to say, these are my laws. You don't follow them. You don't come up. You don't worship. You don't do this. You won't get rain. You won't get blessings. God will deal with people. There will be none of this, oh, we want gay rights. No, I'm God. No. Gosh, people are so rebellious today, especially American women. Miley Cyrus is no exception. She's running around in her underwear, thinking she's enlightening everybody to get rid of us, the scourge of the earth, censor us. Just remember, lady, you enjoy a certain amount of protection and blessing in this country because of us effing ass conservatives. You're not aware of that, I know. If our founding fathers had started with the premise you have now, you wouldn't be here today. It would have turned into anarchy. It would have turned into hedonism so horrific that we would have imploded upon ourselves. The only reason America's enjoyed so many years of blessing is because we were a moral people, we were a civil people, and we did follow rules and absolutes. No, I didn't say every American was perfect. I didn't say sin didn't go on. But there's a lot of things that kept things at bay. Now we got people like you that want to pull out all the stops and say anything goes. Sorry, I don't agree with that. I had to comment on this article. It's disgusting. I'm a Christian and I have my problems. But I'm getting really tired of people trashing the Bible and calling it fairy tales when you don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry, you're a pop star cultured person. You're not a scholar. You're not intellectual. You're not theological. And you're certainly not spiritually minded enough to know truth. I think that anybody who eats out of your hand and believes the crap that you're saying is as dumb as a stump. Good grief. I've said enough. Hollywood and media culture continue to disgust me with their blatant hypocrisies. This is Pacific signing off. Bye-bye.